Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the AEW Dynamite review. Dynamite tonight was from the Gas South Arena in Duluth, Georgia, and the show just ended. It went overtime, and Dynamite tonight, I thought this was a much better show this week than the shit show that we got last week, which felt like I was watching Monday Night Raw on a Wednesday night, but only it was Dynamite. That's what last week's show felt like. Last week's show was absolutely horrendous. And this was their go-home show for Allin, which is this Sunday. And they also called Dynamite tonight Fyter Fest. But overall, it was a decent show, much better than it was last week. But tonight on Dynamite, we had Jon Moxley versus Rey Fenix. We had Nick Wayne and Darby Allin versus Swerve Strickland and AR Fox in a Tornado tag team match. We also saw Ruby Soho versus Skye Blue. And in the main event, we had the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship on the line, where Aussie Open, Mark Davis, Kyle Fletcher defend the titles against the Hardys, Matt and Jeff Hardy. We also had the contract signing between Jericho and Will Ospreay for their match at Allin on Sunday, which is going to be a really good match, in my opinion, between the both of them. But overall, Dynamite tonight, thought it was a decent show, much better than last week's piece of shit show. But before I get into the review, sad news came out today. WWE Hall of Famer Terry Funk passed away at 79. Terry Funk, one of the best, one of the toughest competitors to step foot in the ring. And he's did it all from WWE to fighting in Japan. He's in WCW and then ECW. And, he was revered by fans and peers across the globe for his tenacity, heart, and longevity. So he will be missed. I always remember when he came out as Chainsaw Charlie. When he returned to WWE in 1998, in the Attitude Era, where he was partnered up with Mick Foley. And also, Terry Funk played a key role in the Hell in a Cell match between The Undertaker and Mick Foley when he was Mankind, when King of the Ring 1998. Of course, he was in the film Roadhouse, which Roadhouse is a guilty pleasure for me. I really like that film, Patrick Swayze. But Terry Funk, he will be missed. He had Parkinson's disease and dementia. But thoughts and prayers go out to, his family and friends. But Terry Funk, he will be missed. He was a true legend in the business. But anyways, let's jump right into the review. Dynamite opened up tonight with a brawl between the Elite, Juice Robinson, and the Guns. And originally this was supposed to be a trios match, but the match never got underway. So Omega and the Bucks end up jumping the Guns and Juice Robinson, and they began brawling around ringside. Juice Robinson picked up a chair and attacked Nick Jackson with the chair. Juice Robinson was trying to hit Nick Jackson with the chair for a second time, but the referee, Rick Knox, ended up pulling the chair away from Juice Robinson. Juice Robinson then dropped Rick Knox with a right hand and knocked him out. So Bullet Club Gold ended up taking charge, Juice Robinson and Jay White, and they were helping out. Matt Jackson ended up delivering some super kicks to Juice Robinson and the Guns, but Jay White ended up getting back involved. Omega ended up taking Jay White out, launched the Guns around the ring, but Jay White ended up getting back into the ring, and Omega ended up laying Jay White out with the V-trigger. Omega was aiming to hit another V-trigger to Jay White, but Konosuke Takeshita ended up appearing. Takeshita ended up nailing Omega with a clothesline. So the brawl continued between all these guys. And then FTR made their way down to the ring. And they were helping the brawl to become, more even. So Takeshita and Omega were left alone in the ring. Omega ended up hitting the V-trigger to Takeshita. So Omega was going for the one-winged angel to Takeshita, but Takeshita managed to dive out of the ring, and he made his way up the ramp. And pretty much that was basically that. But overall, I thought this opened into Dynamite here with these guys just brawling. We were supposed to get a trios match out of the Elite, Juice Robinson, and the Guns, which didn't end up happening, of course. I thought this was just a mess to open the show here, in my opinion. It was just a clusterfuck. Because you have the Elite attacking the Guns and Juice Robinson. Then Jay White gets involved. And then just a brawl back and forth between these guys. And then FTR makes their way out. So FTR ends up helping out. I thought it was just a mess, in my opinion. And then we saw Renee Paquette. Renee Paquette was interviewing MGF backstage. MGF ended up admitting to Renee that his trunks will be tight, as he loves the idea of fans cheering for him. MGF ended up saying that he wants the fans to get a pint and get pissed and cheer on their favorite Shav. He ended up saying that he promises he will buy everyone a pint if they do it. So MJF ended up admitting to feeling pressure for this Sunday. He ended up saying that it doesn't happen without the people who paved the road prior. MJF ended up listing the likes of Hulk Hogan, John Cena, Undertaker, Triple H. MJF ended up saying that he is standing on the shoulders of giants, and if he wins, he might become one himself. So he ended up saying that he's ready for the pressure. MJF ended up saying that he's never had a genuine friend before, and that Adam Cole made him become a better person. MJF ended up saying that Adam Cole taught him he could trust and let his guard down. And MJF ended up calling Adam Cole his brother. He ended up saying brothers push and fight each other, but they hug it out. So MJF ended up asking fans to be vulnerable with him, and he promises they will be rewarded, as he is their scumbag. So that was what MJF had to say, but it's going to be a good match between MJF, Adam Cole, and Aussie Open on the Allin 0 Hour for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship. But I have a sense that Adam Cole will be turning on MJF. That's where I see this going. I originally said, I think MJF is going to turn on Adam Cole, but I think it's the opposite. I think Adam Cole is the one that's going to be turning heel on MJF. And then you have the stuff with Roderick Strong. Maybe Roderick Strong is the one to turn on Adam Cole. So you got these scenarios here. Adam Cole could turn on MJF, or Roderick Strong could come out there and turn on Adam Cole. So, but we'll have to wait and see on the Allin 0 Hour on Sunday. And then we went to the first match of the night. Jon Moxley versus Rey Fenix. This was a good match here. Moxley and Fenix worked really well here in this match. So both guys started out brawling. They were exchanging chops to each other. Fenix ended up taking advantage of the match. He ended up sending Moxley out of the ring. And so Fenix ended up hitting back-to-back dives out of the ring to Moxley. Moxley then started tearing away at Fenix's mask. The ref ended up seeing that, and Mox ended up backing off as Fenix tried to fix his mask. And then Moxley then delivered a stomp to Fenix on the floor. Moxley slid into the ring, and Fenix ended up trying to recover. Moxley ended up going right back on the attack on Fenix. He ended up sending Fenix into the barricade. Moxley then ended up sending Fenix back into the ring, and Fenix started to fight back. Moxley ended up dodging a kick off the ropes from Fenix. Fenix then avoided Moxley's fury, and then he was taken down with a lariat, which gave Moxley a near fall. So Dynamite went to commercial. Then when Dynamite came back from the commercial, Moxley ended up going after Fenix's arm. He ended up bringing Fenix to his feet. He ended up hitting a pile driver, to which Moxley ended up going for the cover, and Fenix ended up kicking out. Moxley then ended up grabbing Fenix's hands. He ended up driving his boot into Fenix's face. So Moxley ended up taking a thrust kick to the face by Fenix. So both men were down. The ref started to count as both men were struggling to their feet. So both Moxley and Fenix ended up getting up. Fenix started to fight back. Moxley ended up getting a chokehold locked in on Fenix, but Fenix ended up fighting out of that. Fenix ended up hitting a drop kick and a cutter on Moxley. So Fenix ended up going for the cover. Moxley ended up kicking out. So Moxley was brought to his feet, and Fenix ended up hitting a kick to Moxley, which then Fenix went up to the top. He delivered a frog splash to Moxley. So Fenix ended up going for the cover, and Moxley ended up kicking out. Fenix then ended up lifting Moxley up for a fireman's carry, but Moxley ended up fighting back with some elbows to Fenix's head. Fenix then ended up countering out of the Death Rider, and Fenix ended up going for the cover, and Moxley ended up kicking out. So Moxley then ended up hitting a anti-air on Fenix. So we had Moxley end up getting to his knees, as did Fenix, and both guys ended up fighting back up to their feet. Moxley ended up laying into Fenix with some forearm strikes in the corner. Fenix then delivered a thrust kick in the corner to Moxley. He ended up climbing up the turnbuckle, and he ended up taking a right elbow from Moxley. So Moxley ended up going after Fenix on the top turnbuckle. Fenix fought Moxley off, and he was looking to go for a double underhook off the top. Moxley ended up responding by biting Fenix's face. Moxley then set Fenix up, and he ended up hitting a avalanche Death Rider to Fenix. So Moxley ended up going for the cover, and Fenix ended up kicking out, which that was shocking. Fenix kicking out of the Death Rider. So Moxley was going to lock in a sleeper hold trying to make Fenix pass out, but Fenix was fighting out of the sleeper, but Fenix was out cold as the ref ended up calling for the bell. So Moxley ended up winning the match. Post-match, the Blackpool Combat Club entered the ringside area. We had Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta, and they slid into the ring with crowbars. And so Penta and Eddie Kingston end up heading down to ringside. Ortiz end up showing up, and then Santana's music ended up hitting. So Santana and Ortiz, they end up returning tonight. We haven't seen Santana and Ortiz since last year's Blood and Guts. So Santana and Ortiz went after Eddie Kingston and Penta. So we have the Best Friends end up coming out. So we had Phoenix end up getting hit with the crowbar from the Blackpool Combat Club. So officials and medics were checking on Fenix after he got hit with the crowbar. So EMTs ended up coming out. They had a stretcher, and they laid Fenix on the stretcher. So we saw Santana and Ortiz with the Blackpool Combat Club, out there. And then Dynamite went to commercial, and then that was that. But overall, good match between Fenix and Moxley here. Both guys worked really well here. And, of course, raised the question of what happens next, with everyone else involved in this stadium stampede at Allin. Overall, very good match between Fenix and Moxley. And as Dynamite came back from the commercial, we saw Fenix being loaded into an ambulance after the crowbar attack. And then Renee Paquette, she interviewed Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston had telling Renee, "Oh, you saw what your husband did." And Eddie Kingston had promising to fix things at Wembley. So it should be a good Stadium Stampede match at Allin on Sunday. Obviously, it's going to be taped, but hopefully it'll be good. We haven't seen a Stadium Stampede match since Daly's place. So, should be a good one. And then we had Renee Paquette. She ended up speaking with Sammy Guevara earlier in the day on the situation with Chris Jericho last week. And we also had, Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, and Danny Garcia, all there. And Guevara ended up saying that Jericho is blinded by friendship. And when your friends are in the wrong, you have to have their back. So Angelo Parker ended up saying that he doesn't want Sammy Guevara to make the same mistake, as he wonders if Jericho will be there for him. So that was basically that. Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, Danny Garcia are worried that Jericho could turn on Sammy Guevara. So that was that. And then we had Tony Schiavone. Tony Schiavone was in the ring for the contract signing between Jericho and Will Ospreay. So Will Ospreay ended up making his way out first. He was accompanied, of course, by Don Callis. And then out came Chris Jericho. Jericho was accompanied by Sammy Guevara. So Jericho ended up making his way into the ring. We got a recap of what happened last week between Jericho and Don Callis, where Don Callis had a picture and showed Callis holding Jericho's head. And of course, Don Callis smashing the picture on Jericho's head, and Will Ospreay coming out there being down on Jericho. So Tony Schiavone ended up going over the paperwork. He ended up addressing the extra security because there was security in there. So Tony Schiavone then offered the pen and a mic to Don Callis and Will Ospreay. So the crowd ended up booing Don Callis. He ended up addressing what happened last week. He was saying what happened can be summed up in 4 words. Will, by God, Ospreay. Don Callis ended up saying that he made the deal to Ospreay because of the potential he could see, and was willing to throw away 34 years of friendship for it. So Don Callis started running Jericho down some more. So he ended up saying that Jericho nearly died in England previously. And this Sunday, he will be ringside to help make it happen. So pretty much that was what Don Callis had to say. And then Don Callis handed the mic to Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay ended up calling Jericho out. He ended up asking if Jericho is taking this match seriously, or if Jericho is just using this as an excuse to get his band to play at Wembley. So Ospreay ended up saying that this match changes his life, as he is trying to get as much money as possible to help his stepchild go through school. Ospreay then pointed out that his contract with New Japan comes up in 6 months, and he kept saying who won't pay millions for him because he knows he is the best wrestler in the world. So Ospreay then signed the contract. Jericho got on the mic. He ended up talking about people running Will Ospreay down for his reckless style. Jericho ended up giving him a call with advice to tone it down, to which Jericho ended up saying that he told Ospreay that 5 years ago. Jericho then pointed out that this match has been in the works for years, and that this is the biggest show of his career. He kept saying this is bigger than any WrestleMania, any Tokyo Dome, anything. He kept saying that it means more to him than anything else, as he's coming at it from the top of the mountain. So he ended up telling Ospreay to prove it to him, and he ended up telling Ospreay not to regret stopping him from being in a wheelchair. So then Jericho slapped Ospreay, and both Jericho and Ospreay were then pulled apart by security. Security was holding Ospreay and Jericho back. So pretty much that was basically that. You had Jericho, of course, sign the contract. But I thought this was a very good segment here. And this is going to be a very good match from Jericho and Ospreay here. Like I said, good segment this was. So then we had Renee Paquette. Renee Paquette was interviewing Adam Cole, baby. And she taking a look back at the friendship between him and MGF over the past few weeks. So Adam Cole then ended up saying that it's bizarre, but he appreciates that MGF helped him find himself again. So Renee ended up talking about both matches at Allin, and she kept asking what Adam Cole thinks of the World Championship in particular. Adam Cole ended up saying to Renee that he doesn't just want to win, he needs to win. So then they go into the situation between him and Roderick Strong. And Cole was very frustrated about being asked about that. He kept saying that he's done with the interview. And then he ended up walking off, and that was basically that. But overall, I thought this was a good interview with Adam Cole here. And, it was funny about how they ran back, Adam Cole saying, no way MJF is going to watch back, too. So, that was that. Good stuff here. Building up to their match with Aussie Open at the All-In 0 Hour. And then we had a Tornado Tag Team match. Darby Allin and Nick Wayne versus Swerve Strickland and AR Fox. I'm sorry. AR Fox, he came out wearing like this mask, and when he puts it down, doesn't it look like he's ready to go scuba diving with that on? But this was a good match here. Darby Allin and Nick Wayne ended up heading out to the ring first, and then out came Swerve Strickland and AR Fox. So Darby Allin and Nick Wayne ended up charging at both Swerve and AR Fox. You had Swerve and Prince Nana talking Nick Wayne down as they started beating Nick Wayne down in front of his mother. Nick Wayne's mother was watching in the front row. Nick Wayne ended up hitting a double Wayne's World on Swerve and AR Fox. So, double Wayne's World to them, party time, excellent. Just had to do that. So then we had AR Fox and Swerve Strickland. They were being down on Darby Allin, Nick Wayne. We had Swerve end up bringing Darby back to the ring. AR Fox ended up bringing Nick Wayne in. And Nick Wayne was looking to go for Wayne's World to AR Fox, but then he was taken down with assisted powerbomb. Darby ended up sending Swerve out of the ring, ended up hitting a dive. So Darby ended up grabbing a chair to set Swerve up on, but AR Fox ended up taking Darby down. Swerve ended up going up on the apron. He ended up hitting the Swerve stomp on Darby to the floor. Nick Wayne was then bloodied as he got to his feet. AR Fox and Swerve ended up going back on the attack on Nick Wayne. Fox ended up taking Nick Wayne down, and Nick Wayne ended up kicking out. So we had later on, AR Fox ended up climbing up to the turnbuckle for a 450 splash to Nick Wayne. And so AR Fox did hit that 450. AR Fox ended up going for the cover, and Nick Wayne ended up kicking out. So we had Nick Wayne end up rolling AR Fox up. Darby ended up holding Swerve down at ringside. So Nick Wayne ended up getting the pin. So there you go. Darby Allin and Nick Wayne ended up winning the match. Post-match, Darby Allin and Nick Wayne headed up the ramp. Swerve ended up getting on the mic. He ended up saying, "This is so disappointing," which he was referring to AR Fox. So Swerve was running AR Fox down. He ended up saying that this was a test. Prince Nana then tried to calm Swerve down. Swerve then ended up saying that he can't trust AR Fox. He ended up telling Prince Nana to handle his light work. Prince Nana got on the mic. He ended up saying that on behalf of the Mogul Embassy, AR Fox has been fired, which led to a beatdown by Brian Cage. So then out came Darby Allin, Nick Wayne, and Sting to stop all this. So the Mogul Embassy ended up heading up the ramp. Darby ended up calling Swerve out. He ended up offering a hand to AR Fox. Darby ended up saying that he wants to know who else Swerve has coming into the coffin match at All Out. So Christian Cage and Luchasaurus made their way to the ramp. Christian then introduced himself to Nick Wayne. He ended up saying that he understands his story and that he has a father who passed away. So Christian ended up running down Nick Wayne's father. He ended up saying that Nick Wayne should stay away from Allin because it'd be a shame for him to see the coffin door close on someone he loves for the second time. So Christian Cage ended up ending things by offering to be a mentor figure to Nick Wayne. So pretty much that was basically that. So Christian Cage is replacing AR Fox in this coffin match at All In. So, but overall, this was a good tornado tag team match between Swerve, AR Fox, and Darby Allin and Nick Wayne. So, really looking forward to seeing how this coffin match is going to go at All In. So then we saw Renee Paquette. Renee Paquette was interviewing FTR and the Young Bucks. FTR ended up saying that they helped the Young Bucks earlier because they want to know which team is best, not because they're friends. Matt Jackson ended up saying that when they first did All In, it seemed impossible, and now here we are, and being the biggest match of their career is an understatement. Nick Jackson ended up pointing out that FTR needs to beat them. Cash Wheeler ended up agreeing, saying that there's a lot on this one. Dax Harwood ended up saying that this goes beyond business. It is personal. Harwood ended up saying that it goes far beyond the titles. It's about legacy. And the only team that stands in their way is the Young Bucks. Matt Jackson ended up cutting Harwood off. He ended up reminding him how he feeds their families, as they're the reason they got bought in. Matt Jackson ended up saying that when they hang it up, people will give them their flowers for being the best team to ever compete, while they will say FTR are the guys they named on being the elite. Harwood ended up saying that the Bucks had to use their name to try and get on their level, but in front of 80,000 people, they will make them. I'm saying that they will crack their foundation at Wembley Stadium. So that was that. That was what FTR and the Bucks had to say. And then we had Skye Blue versus Ruby Soho. This was just a meh match here. If it has Skye Blue in it, we already know who won the match. So Ruby Soho ended up hitting the No Future on Skye Blue. Ruby Soho ended up hitting the Destination Unknown. She ended up going for the cover. And there you go. Ruby Soho ended up winning the match. Very meh match this was. So then we saw the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed end up rushing down to the ring. No theme music, no rap from Max Caster. So they end up calling out the House of Black. So they're saying, House of Black, come down to the ring. So the lights end up going out in the arena. And as the lights came back on, the House of Black were on the apron. They ended up rushing in. It led to a brawl between the Acclaimed and the House of Black. Then the Acclaimed's music ended up hitting. Billy Gunn headed down the ramp, and the House of Black ended up getting out of the ring as Billy Gunn ended up entering. Billy Gunn ended up grabbing a mic. He ended up talking to the House of Black. He ended up addressing what happened lately. He ended up saying that he was happy to retire from the business until the House of Black attacked the Acclaim last week and then destroyed the very boots he left in the ring when he retired. Billy Gunn ended up saying that he has done stuff that will go down in wrestling history. And the House of Black tried to piss all over that. He ended up saying, so for that, one more time, it's all or nothing at Allin. Billy Gunn ended up promising to take everything from the House of Black. He ended up saying, because at Allin, it will be the House of Black against the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn. So Billy ended up saying that the fun-loving daddy ass can't make the trip, but a badass is coming to London. So that was that. So we're going to have a trios match at Allin for the trios championship. It's going to be the House of Black versus the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn. And it looks like maybe they're possibly setting up the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn to win the trios championships at Allin. So that's my prediction there. Or maybe, just maybe, Billy Gunn will be turning on the Acclaimed. So either of those two scenarios. But I'm going to be leaning towards the first scenario. I think the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn are going to take the trios championships off of the House of Black. But that's my prediction. But we'll have to wait until Sunday to see, what happens. Overall, I thought this was a good segment between the Acclaimed and House of Black, Billy Gunn. Main event, Aussie Open, Mark Davis, Kyle Fletcher versus Matt and Jeff Hardy for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship. This was a decent match here. We had Aussie Open end up blindsiding Matt and Jeff Hardy to get the match underway. We had Matt and Jeff Hardy end up fighting back against Aussie Open. We had the Hardys end up hitting Poetry in Motion on Mark Davis, and then they end up hitting one on Kyle Fletcher. So both Aussie Open were sent out to the floor. So we had the Hardys end up staying in control of the match. They end up taking Fletcher down when he returned into the ring. And then Dynamite went to commercial. Then when Dynamite came back from the commercial, Mark Davis ended up taking Jeff Hardy down to the canvas. He ended up tagging in Kyle Fletcher. Aussie Open then double teamed until Jeff Hardy ended up fighting back. Jeff Hardy ended up hitting Whisper in the Wind on Aussie Open to lay them out. Jeff then made the tag to Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy ended up hitting a clothesline to Mark Davis. He ended up taking Kyle Fletcher down against the turnbuckles. Matt Hardy was going for the twist of fate on Mark Davis, but Mark Davis turned that into a DDT. And then Matt ended up hitting a side effect on Fletcher, and Matt Hardy ended up going for the cover, to which Kyle Fletcher ended up kicking out. So Matt Hardy was up on the top turnbuckle to keep on Fletcher, who ended up finding out of the corner. Matt Hardy ended up sending Fletcher on the top rope before tagging in Jeff. Matt Hardy ended up hitting a superplex to Fletcher, and it was followed up by a dive by Jeff Hardy. So we had Jeff Hardy ended up going for the cover, to which Mark Davis ended up breaking up the pin. So Matt and Jeff Hardy ended up sending Mark Davis up on the turnbuckle, but Kyle Fletcher ended up turning it around. He tagged Mark Davis in, so Aussie Open ended up taking Jeff Hardy down, and they ended up going for the cover. And there you go. Aussie Open ended up winning the match, retaining the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship. Post-match, Mark Davis got on the mic, and he ended up handing the mic to Kyle Fletcher. He ended up saying that at Allin, there will be no double clothesline, no kangaroo kick. And he ended up saying that Aussie Open will still be your Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, baby. So then MJF and Adam Cole end up coming out. They end up heading toward the ring to confront Aussie Open. We got a stare down between MJF, Adam Cole, and Aussie Open. And all four men end up brawling with each other. And pretty much we had MJF and Adam Cole end up looking to hit a double clothesline on Mark Davis, but Mark Davis ended up escaping. So MJF was looking to go for a kangaroo kick on Fletcher. So Mark Davis ended up saving him. MJF ended up saving Adam Cole from an attack by Mark Davis. We had Kyle Fletcher end up dodging a kick by Adam Cole. And Adam Cole ended up almost kicking MJF. So MJF ended up catching Adam Cole's foot. So MJF ended up staring down his challenger. He ended up grabbing the World Championship in front of Adam Cole. And he ended up shoving away. He ended up shoving Adam Cole away. And he ended up pulling out his Dynamite diamond ring. But then he ended up putting the diamond ring back in his pockets. And we had both MJF and Adam Cole end up hugging it out. MJF ended up posing with his World Championship. And pretty much that was that. That was how Dynamite ended tonight. But they're teasing this breakup between MJF and Adam Cole here. You know, with Adam Cole almost kicking MJF. MJF ended up catching Adam Cole's foot. And the stare down between both MJF and Adam Cole. But overall, very good Dynamite it was tonight. Way better than last week's show. But anyways, that's it for my review of tonight's Dynamite. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. And the next video will be a movie review of Gran Turismo. And I'm seeing the film tomorrow night. So looking forward to it. It's Neil Blomkamp's film. And from what I heard, it's based on a true story of this guy, who played Gran Turismo and, went into this, race. So I'm looking forward to it. Heard good things about it from people who saw it early, like during a pre-screening. So that will be the next video, my movie review of that. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all later.